Welcome to NextStep. NextStep makes it possible for you to create, manage, and run your most important business processes, SOPs, and checklists. When you first land into NextStep, you'll be here in the process library. So over here on the right, I'm going to create a new process. When I create a new process, I can either create from an existing template of any of our great ones in here, or I can create a process with AI or start from scratch. When creating a process with AI, all I need is some context to give it. So right now I want to create an onboarding process for a new employee. I need them to meet all new team members in the first week, and I don't really know, but I need to make sure I cover enough steps over the first month so they're sufficiently onboarded. So I add this context in here and press generate. The AI will now start to create a draft process that I can work with and start editing too. The process has now been created. So we can now look through what the AI has created us. And this is also how you can create and edit and adjust processes in NextStep as well. So as you can see, it's created us two sections, first week orientation and then first month integration. The first week has information about meeting all team members, completing documentation, setting up workspace, and more. Each of these tasks can be adjusted by adding content, for example, text or dividers and images to help inform more about the process. I can also capture input as well. So for example, I would like to capture the website in this process. I can add these fields. I can adjust the settings as well, and I can also adjust them accordingly inside the task. I can also add new tasks and new approvals right inside my process at any point as well. So I'm going to add a new task here to meet the CEO. I can add additional context. As I'm creating them, I can rearrange my steps to make them appear in a better order. I can add new sections as well and move them all accordingly. So this is a great way for me to keep customizing the process and get it exactly how I want to get it. Processes can be enhanced further by adding dynamic assignments on each of the tasks. For example, here I can add who this task will be assigned to when this process is run, what due date this task will have. So for example, it can be after a particular task in the process. It could be 1 month after if I would like. I can even set dependencies. So this task can only be completed if, for example, these two tasks here have been completed first. I can also adjust the visibility of a task so that not every person in my organization or who I'm sharing it with can see the task that I'm working on. When you're ready, you can preview your process at any point by clicking this button here. When you're previewing your process, you can complete tasks just as you would as you're going through the process. As I'm making my way through, the progress bar is updating, and as I finish this process, the process shows that it's been completed. Now that I've created my process, I'm ready to use it with my organization. I'm going to publish my process up here, and I'll show you how you can run this as many times as you need. So you can do this in multiple ways. The easiest way is to jump into your library and click Run. Then you'll see the information about configuring the version, configuring it. For example, I can set a due date, who it's assigned to, and I can also share the process with someone inside my organization or outside of it with an email too. You can also run your process via link. So this is really great if you are using your process externally or you have it inside one of your workflows that you don't need to go all the way back to NextStep to even run the process. So for example, I'll grab this link here and then this will open up this here. Now, whenever someone opens the run link, they can start a process at any point. When the process starts, it'll make a copy of that process that you've created, and that person can then start working their way through it. So as you can see, this is just like we set up before. I can work through the tasks. I can continue my way through. And all of this information is getting tracked through the process. So the person can come back later as well if they'd like. Now that you've got a process running, I want to keep track of how it's progressing and other processes in my business. So in the active processes tab, I can see all the processes that are running. I can see the progress and I can dive in on them to see how they're going as well. Or I can head over to my process library and actually look at breakdown reports on each process that I'm running. So in this example reporting view, I can see this process has been run 27 times. I can see how many are currently active and completed and the average time as well. I can also see every time this process has been run, I can look at data on each of those two. And I also can see who I've sent this process to across my organization and outside of it as well. Anyway, that's the gist of NextStep. There's so much more you can do. Have a look at the branding options, the webhooks, and the team information as well. But dive on in and have a go.